Hi, my name is Maureen Daniels, and I'm the Director of Wellness for Berkshire Health Systems. I wanted to share some ideas around practicing gratitude that can be very, very helpful, especially in difficult times that we're in right now. And I do want to say that practicing gratitude isn't necessarily avoiding or not being aware of the situations that are at hand. It's actually the art of practicing gratitude is actually a form of meditation to take us out of that constant anxious, nervous, depressed brain and find things that we're grateful for, to find pieces of the puzzle that we have appreciation for kindness. And so I think that it's important for us to be thinking about this lens, and I'm going to share my screen so you don't have to just look at my face. This lens that we choose to look through. And when we practice the art of kindness, it can be a real game changer for many of us, right? So, and it is a choice, and it takes practice. That's why we call it the practice of gratitude, because it is very easy to forget or to just get in our daily routines. So, practicing gratitude can improve our mental health to boost relationships with others, right? So, when we think about people who are grateful or positive, they similar fall together, gratitude and positive outlook, along with acts of kindness. Those are the people that we sort of gravitate toward. It also allows us to look at little wins. And I'm going to talk today about that idea of noticing the little things, noticing the pockets of just allowing ourselves to think like, wow, that's a game changer. For me, a little win or a little gratitude that depending on how you look at it is a little or a big one is every time I turn up the radiator in my house and I hear the steam come through the radiators, I have a moment of gratitude. Because when we pause and we're aware and we take a moment to think about this is a win, this is a little or a big win, it allows us to be in that moment and appreciate the fact that that's happening. So we have to start, or we get to start by observing, right? And to giving ourselves the time and the moments to pause. And Ariana Huffington speaks a lot about the power of gratitude. And she has shared this idea of she practices 60 seconds of joy. And 60 seconds of joy is when she notices that things are not going well, or when she notices that she's been watching too much news, or when she notices that things, she's just not feeling well. She pauses, and for 60 seconds, she focuses on one thing that brings her joy. It could be a person, a place, a thing. It could be something in her room, in her office. It could be the way the wind blows through the leaves. It could be the scent of a candle. It could be the start of your car in the morning, and just pausing to appreciate. And so when we pick these opportunities to start observing, it allows us to turn off that other noise. It allows us to be in the moment of, okay, things are okay right now. It also allows us to reduce that stress level, right? That high anxiety level that many Americans are at right now. Because when we start to do sort of this, sort of pick this one interaction or one opportunity to spend our mind focused on, it turns the other off. So the other opportunity to think about is just the act of saying thanks. We probably say thanks, 10, 15, 20 times a day to different interactions. If we put a bit more intention into that opportunity, when we offer a bit more thought into what am I actually really appreciating, can we name that? Can we sort of name that field that we're grateful for? And even beyond the gesture that's extended, and then say thank you. there's a real power there for us to, again, be in the moment so that it's not just a, oh, by the way, or a quick gesture, right? So we know there's a lot of science behind the act of gratitude. We know that it can cultivate healthy work life and improve relationships. It can help reduce our stress load. It can help us sleep better. It can help us have a deeper connection with people when we practice gratitude, especially in tough situations, because we know that there's always a good part of the day. There's a best part of the day. Maria Sawa talks about this a lot of around, at the end of the day, no matter how bad it was, there was a moment that was the best part. And so when we know that when people practice gratitude, they have fewer physical symptoms of illness. They actually are healthier. They're more optimistic, of course, because they're constantly reframing the focus and reframing what they're saying. They have greater goal attainment. When you're practicing gratitude and you're aware of things around you, you actually start being more aware of I can obtain things. It also decreases anxiety and depression, among other health benefits. So we know that it impacts our brain. It changes the prefrontal cortex, and that's the region that's associated with the reward processing of the brain. So when we practice gratitude, our brain thinks we're getting a reward, and it likes that. It's sort of like chocolate, right? It's sort of that reward, that prize box. And so if we can do this for free with no calories, with no sugar, when we can practice this, that helps our brains to feel rewarded, that will shift things in our daily life. So here's some ideas of how to help train our brain to practice more gratitude. First is, we do have to take the time. We have to take the time to look around. We have to give ourselves these moments of calmness to be aware. Often people practice gratitude once a day at the end of the day. Maybe you have a gratitude journal that you keep. There's great science behind if you write down 3 things a day that went well, that you're grateful for. And even if it's, often we start with the big ones. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for my children's health. The biggies. But the more we practice that, when we take the time to observe and to be quiet and to be thoughtful, the more we start being aware of the little things, like the heat turning on, like the fresh water coming out of the faucet in the morning so you can brush your teeth, like the fact that you have a toothbrush, like the fact that, the list can go on from there. The more we practice, the more our brains start being aware. So that's a real key opportunity, is to be sort of mindful. And maybe you try that in different environments. Maybe you try it in your kitchen. Often people say, I'm grateful for my coffee in the morning. Maybe you practice it when you step outside of your home, your apartment. Maybe you practice it at work. What are some small things? And to focus on those little things, right? To focus on the little things, because the big things are real easy to come to mind. But when we are aware of the little things, that are so special, just being grateful in the morning that you had a comfortable night's sleep. John Kabat-Zinn says, the little things, the little moments, they aren't little. And so often we remember those, correct? When we think of our memories, when we think of our events, most people can't remember. As children, you might not remember any of those presents that were given to you, or maybe a few you remember, but often it's the people around you, some sort of event, some sort of interaction with people. It's the little moments that really are the real game changers. So when we can pause and be in that place to really think about, this is a moment for me. This is a best moment for me. And saying out loud to share with people, that allows you to help them to be aware as well. And so when we do share our gratitude with others, Most of us will say thank you or give a hug, but when we really share specifics about why we're grateful, that's sharing kindness. And that also is a real improvement for our body, mind, spirit. So being okay to share that gratitude with others is important. And then also, taking it a step further, if you're on social media, if you like your Facebook or your Twitter and you like to share things, what would happen if we start shifting the conversation to the positive? And certainly going into Thanksgiving week, the month of November, it is gratitude month, it's gratitude week, it's gratitude, we often say thanks on Thanksgiving. But if we're able to share on a regular basis what's going well, that changes the conversation, and it reaffirms it for us as well that this is a change of conversation. There are some really amazing apps that are available. One of the free apps is just called Gratitude. It's in your app store. It's designed by a gentleman who just wants to continue this conversation around what's going well. The company like Life is Good, switching the conversation of what's going well. So if you like apps, there's some really great ones out there. If you like to do the old fashioned way and write things down on pieces of paper, if you like to send gratitude notes through the mail and let people know how you're feeling, really great opportunities. But the real focus would be is to put it in writing, whether it's electronic writing or the old fashioned pen and paper writing. When we put it in writing, when we say it out loud, when we take action, it helps sink down that this gratitude is really important for us. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope it gives you some ideas of practicing gratitude and to think little of the opportunities to think little pieces of the puzzle for our gratitude, and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be big. There's always a great part of the day or a best part of the day. And there's always opportunity to think about what is going well. Some days are harder than others, but it definitely is there. So thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to stop my screen. And I appreciate you folks staying with me. I'm grateful for you. Stay well, and we'll talk soon.